You've spent decades working, commuting, and paying absurd city housing costs, only to face retirement wondering if your CPP, OAS, and savings can buy more than rent in a place you can't afford to enjoy. Or you're younger, working remotely, realizing Toronto prices are financial self-harm. Real estate articles push $600K retirement condos and overpriced hotspots. But here's the truth. Canada still has small towns where homes cost under $300K, taxes make sense, healthcare exists, and life moves at a sane pace. And hey, not Arctic outposts, real communities with real services, real seasons, and affordability untouched by speculation. Subscribe if you want to know where in Canada you can still buy a house without generational wealth. Number 10, Wolfville, Nova Scotia, Annapolis Valley, charm with university town culture. Wolfville sits in Nova Scotia's Annapolis Valley with about 4,500 people, Acadia University providing cultural life unusual for a town this size, and housing prices that make Halifax look like the overpriced chaos it's become. According to recent MLS data, detached homes in Wolfville range from $350,000 to $500,000 depending on size, location, and condition. You can find renovated century homes with character for $400,000 to $450,000, or newer builds on the outskirts for $450,000 to $525,000. These are real houses with yards, multiple bedrooms, and charm that Toronto houses at that price don't have, because Toronto houses at that price are teardowns in neighborhoods where developers circle like vultures. The town sits in the Annapolis Valley, arguably Nova Scotia's most beautiful region with rolling hills, orchards, vineyards, and Bay of Fundy access. The climate is maritime moderate, meaning winter is rarely brutally cold though damp and gray, and summer is comfortable with temperatures that don't require air conditioning or 3 months of suffering through humidity that makes breathing feel optional. Wolfville has proper healthcare through Eastern Kings Memorial Health Centre, providing emergency services, diagnostic capabilities, and medical programs. There are family doctors, though getting one requires the same luck and persistence required everywhere in Canada's strained healthcare system. For specialist care, Halifax is about an hour away with major hospitals and comprehensive medical facilities. The proximity matters for retirees, where healthcare access becomes increasingly important as bodies demand more maintenance and attention. According to Statistics Canada's 2021 census data, Wolfville's population is highly educated with significant retiree presence, attracted to the university town culture, natural beauty, and proximity to Halifax without Halifax housing costs. The median age skews older than Canadian average, which means the town has services and amenities designed for people who aren't 25 and don't need constant nightlife or career advancement opportunities. Property taxes in Wolfville run around $2,500 to $3,500 annually on a $400,000 home, reasonable for Nova Scotia where municipal services exist and function. The cost of living beyond housing is moderate, with grocery stores providing competition, farmers markets offering local produce, and the Annapolis Valley agricultural base making food costs reasonable compared to remote regions where everything's flown or trucked in. One retiree who moved from Halifax described Wolfville as everything we wanted from Halifax without the traffic, the housing costs that required selling our house at peak market to afford, and the sense that the city had become playground for wealthy people while everyone else struggled. Here we have culture, beauty, services, and a mortgage-free house that cost less than our Halifax condo was worth, leaving retirement savings for actually enjoying retirement instead of just surviving it. Number 9, Smithers, British Columbia, mountain town. Without Whistler prices, Smithers sits in northwestern BC's Bulkley Valley with about 5,500 people, surrounded by mountain ranges, and offering outdoor recreation that rivals expensive BC destinations at prices that don't require tech salaries or family wealth. According to BC Real Estate Association data, detached homes in Smithers range from $350,000 to $550,000, depending on size, age, and location. You can buy a solid 3-bedroom house with yard and mountain views for $400,000 to $450,000, or newer builds for $475,000 to $550,000. Compare that to Whistler, where equivalent housing costs $2 million plus, or Vancouver, where $400,000 doesn't buy a parking spot in neighborhoods where people actually want to live. The town sits in stunning geography, with Hudson Bay Mountain providing skiing in winter, trails in summer, and views year-round that make you understand why people tolerate northern BC winters. The climate is northern BC continental, with cold winters hitting -20 regularly, but dry and sunny, not the damp gray misery of coastal BC. Summer is warm and beautiful with long daylight hours and outdoor conditions that make you forget winter exists until October, reminds you it's coming. Smithers has Bulkley Valley District Hospital providing emergency services, diagnostic capabilities, and medical programs. There are family doctors, though availability varies, and specialists visit regularly from Prince George or Vancouver. For major medical needs, Prince George is 3.5 hours away, which requires planning but is manageable for scheduled appointments and procedures. The distance matters for retirees assessing healthcare access, but the town's medical facilities are solid for a community this size. According to recent population data, Smithers attracts retirees and remote workers seeking mountain lifestyle without Whistler or Canmore costs that have become playgrounds for wealthy people who treat mountain towns as second homes rather than communities. The demographic is educated, outdoorsy, and includes significant arts community drawn by beauty and affordability. Property taxes run $2,500 to $3,500 annually on a $400,000 home, reasonable for BC where some municipalities charge $5,000 or $6,000 for equivalent properties. Cost of living beyond housing is moderate, with grocery stores providing adequate selection, though some items cost more than southern BC due to transportation. But housing savings more than compensate for slightly higher grocery costs. Recreation is Smithers' primary selling point. Hudson Bay Mountain offers skiing with season passes, costing fraction of Whistler prices. Summer brings hiking, mountain biking, and trail systems maintained by passionate community of outdoor enthusiasts, fishing in local rivers and lakes, camping in provincial parks, and access to wilderness that doesn't require permits or reservations, or fighting crowds make Smithers viable for people who define quality of life through outdoor access rather than restaurant variety. One couple who relocated from Vancouver described the transformation. Vancouver was eating us alive financially. We'd paid off our mortgage, but property taxes and maintenance costs were $5,000 annually. And we were surrounded by development, traffic, and the sense that our neighborhood had become investment opportunity for offshore money rather than community. Smithers gave us a beautiful house with mountain views, a town that feels like actual community, and enough savings that retirement doesn't feel like managed poverty. Number 8. Meaford, Ontario, Georgian Bay. Access without Collingwood costs. Meaford sits on Georgian Bay's southern shore with about 11,000 people, including surrounding township, offering waterfront access, four-season recreation, and housing prices that make nearby Collingwood and Blue Mountain look like the overpriced tourist traps they've become. According to Ontario real estate data, detached homes in Meaford range from $400,000 to $600,000 depending on size, location, and waterfront access. You can buy a solid 3-bedroom house with yard for $450,000 to $525,000, or waterfront properties for $550,000 to $700,000. Compare that to Collingwood, where equivalent housing costs $800,000 to $1.2 million. Or Toronto, where houses in this price range are teardowns in neighborhoods nobody wants to live in. The town sits on Georgian Bay with beaches, harbor, and water access that defines the lifestyle. The climate is southern Ontario moderated by the bay, meaning winter is milder than inland regions, though still requires snow removal and acceptance that cold exists November through March. Summer is beautiful with water recreation, sailing, and beach activities that don't require driving hours or paying premium resort prices. Meaford has healthcare through Meaford Hospital, providing emergency services and basic medical care. There are family doctors, though getting one requires persistence, and specialists require travel to Owen Sound 25 minutes away or Barrie an hour south. For major medical needs, larger facilities are accessible within 90 minutes, manageable for planned procedures and specialist appointments. According to population data, Meaford attracts retirees from Toronto and southern Ontario, seeking Georgian Bay lifestyle without Blue Mountain prices that cater to wealthy people treating the area as cottage country rather than home. The demographic skews older with significant retiree population, but includes younger families and remote workers attracted to beauty and affordability relative to GTA insanity. Property taxes run around $3,500 to $4,500 annually on a $500,000 home, typical for southern Ontario where municipal services exist and function. Cost of living is moderate with grocery stores, farmers markets, and reasonable prices on most goods. The town is close enough to larger centers for shopping variety, but small enough that traffic and crowds remain minimal. Recreation includes Georgian Bay water activities, skiing at nearby Beaver Valley, hiking trails throughout the area, and golf courses for those who define retirement through hitting balls. The town maintains parks, waterfront areas, and facilities that serve the community well. Cultural life includes theater, art galleries, and events that create vibrancy unusual for towns this size. One retiree couple who sold in Mississauga described Meaford as everything we wanted from retirement. We're on Georgian Bay, have a beautiful house, paid off our mortgage by downsizing from GTA prices, and have savings left over for travel and enjoying life instead of just surviving. The property taxes are half what we paid in Mississauga for better services, and a community that actually functions as community rather than collection of commuters who never talk to neighbors. Number 7. Annapolis Royal, Nova Scotia, historic town. With Bay of Fundy beauty, Annapolis Royal sits in Nova Scotia's Annapolis Valley, with about 500 people in town proper and 1,500 including surrounding area, making it genuinely small but with services and amenities that punch above its weight due to tourism and historical significance. According to Nova Scotia real estate data, homes in Annapolis Royal range from $275,000 to $475,000 depending on size, age, and historical character. You can buy renovated heritage homes with period details for $350,000 to $425,000, or smaller properties for $275,000 to $325,000. The town is Canada's oldest European settlement with history dating to 1605, creating heritage character and historical sites that make it destination for tourism while maintaining small town feel. The location at the head of the Annapolis Basin provides water access and proximity to Bay of Fundy, arguably Atlantic Canada's most impressive natural feature, with world's highest tides creating dramatic coastal landscapes. Healthcare is provided through Annapolis Community Health Center with basic medical services and emergency care. Family doctors serve the area, though availability requires luck. For hospital services, Middleton is 20 minutes away with Valley Regional Hospital providing more comprehensive care. Halifax is about 2 hours for major medical needs and specialists. According to census data, the population skews older with significant retiree presence attracted to history, beauty, and affordability relative to Halifax or other Nova Scotia coastal areas. The demographic is educated, arts-focused, and includes artists and writers drawn by character and pace that supports creative work. Property taxes run $1,800 to $2,800 annually on a $350,000 home, among the lowest property taxes in Nova Scotia for a town with actual services. Cost of living is moderate with grocery stores, farmers markets, and Annapolis Valley agricultural base providing affordable local food. Recreation includes hiking trails, kayaking in the basin, exploring Fort Anne and other historical sites, and access to beaches along the Bay of Fundy coast. The town hosts festivals throughout the year, including the Annapolis Royal Arts Festival drawing visitors and creating cultural life unusual for towns this size. Gardens, including the famous Annapolis Royal Historic Gardens, provide beautiful spaces for walking and contemplation. One retiree who moved from Ontario described Annapolis Royal as discovering a town that feels like stepping back in time in the best way. Everything moves slower, people actually talk to each other, and the beauty is genuine rather than manufactured for tourism. We bought a heritage home for $375,000 that would cost over $1 million in Ontario. And our property taxes are $2,000 annually, compared to $5,000 we paid for a suburban house with zero character. Number 6. Nelson, British Columbia. Kootenay mountain culture without Banff prices. Nelson sits in BC's Kootenays with about 11,000 people, mountain culture, and housing prices that haven't reached the insanity of Banff, Canmore, or other BC mountain towns that became playgrounds for wealthy people. According to BC real estate data, detached homes in Nelson range from $400,000 to $650,000, depending on size, location, and views. You can buy solid older homes with character for $425,000 to $500,000, or newer properties for $550,000 to $650,000. The town sits on the west arm of Kootenay Lake with mountain backdrop creating stunning geography. The climate is interior BC with 4 distinct seasons. Winter brings snow and skiing, summer brings heat and lake activities, and shoulder seasons offer comfortable temperatures for hiking and outdoor activities. Nelson has Kootenay Lake Hospital providing emergency services and medical care. There are family doctors, though availability varies, and specialists visit regularly or patients travel to larger centers. The medical infrastructure is solid for a town this size, and the demographic includes many retirees who wouldn't relocate without adequate healthcare access. According to population data, Nelson attracts artists, draft dodgers who stayed from the 60s and 70s, retirees seeking mountain lifestyle, and remote workers drawn by beauty and culture. The demographic is educated, progressive, and environmentally conscious, creating community values that might not align with conservative rural BC, but create distinctive character that appeals to specific people. Property taxes run $2,800 to $3,800 annually on a $500,000 home, reasonable for BC. Cost of living is moderate to high, with some goods costing more due to location, but housing savings compared to Vancouver or Victoria more than compensate. Recreation is Nelson's strength. Whitewater Ski Resort provides skiing in winter with none of Whistler's crowds or costs. Summer brings hiking, mountain biking on legendary trails, and Kootenay Lake for swimming, boating, and fishing. The town maintains extensive trail systems and outdoor infrastructure reflecting community values, prioritizing recreation and environmental access. One couple who relocated from Vancouver Island described Nelson as finding the BC we thought we were getting on the island before it became unaffordable and crowded. Nelson has mountains, lake, culture, and community that actually functions. We paid $525,000 for a house that would cost $1.5 million in Victoria, and we're surrounded by people who moved here for similar reasons rather than people who inherited property and complain about newcomers ruining their real estate values. Number 5. Stratford, Prince Edward Island. Island living without Charlottetown density. Stratford sits across the harbor from Charlottetown with about 9,500 people, offering proximity to PEI's capital without the density and traffic that comes with living in the provincial center. According to PEI real estate data, detached homes in Stratford range from $325,000 to $500,000 depending on size, age, and location. You can buy solid family homes for $375,000 to $450,000, or newer builds for $450,000 to $525,000. The location provides access to Charlottetown services and amenities while maintaining suburban feel with less density and better property values than equivalent locations on Charlottetown side of the harbor. The climate is maritime PEI with moderate temperatures, though winter brings snow and cold, and summer humidity that makes you appreciate ocean breezes. Healthcare is accessed through Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Charlottetown, providing full emergency services, specialists, and comprehensive medical care. Stratford has medical clinics with family doctors, though getting one requires the usual Canadian persistence and luck. The proximity to Charlottetown means medical access is better than remote rural areas while maintaining affordable housing. According to census data, Stratford has grown significantly as Charlottetown housing prices increased, attracting families, retirees, and people seeking island lifestyle with urban proximity. The demographic is mixed age, with good schools making it attractive to families, while retirees appreciate proximity to services without urban density. Property taxes run around $2,200 to $3,200 annually on a $400,000 home, reasonable for PEI. Cost of living is moderate, with Charlottetown providing shopping variety and competition, keeping prices reasonable. The island's agricultural base makes local food affordable during growing season. Recreation includes trails, parks, and proximity to PEI's famous beaches within 20 to 30-minute drives. The Confederation Trail runs through the area, providing walking and cycling routes. Water access, golf courses, and community facilities serve the population well. One retiree who relocated from Ontario described Stratford as perfect compromise between small-town PEI and having services nearby. We wanted island lifestyle but worried about isolation. Stratford gives us quiet, affordable housing, and beautiful surroundings with Charlottetown 5 minutes away when we need it. Our house cost $425,000 for what would be $800,000 plus in Ontario, and property taxes are a third of what we paid. Number 4. Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia, South Shore charm without Halifax commute. Mahone Bay sits on Nova Scotia's South Shore with about 1,100 people in town and 2,500 including surrounding area, offering coastal beauty, heritage character, and housing prices that make it viable for retirees not requiring proximity to major medical centers. According to Nova Scotia real estate data, homes in Mahone Bay range from $300,000 to $550,000 depending on size, waterfront access, and condition. You can buy character homes with ocean views for $375,000 to $450,000, or waterfront properties for $475,000 to $600,000. The town sits on Mahone Bay Inlet with islands, boats, and coastal scenery that defines the aesthetic. The climate is South Shore maritime with moderate winters rarely dropping to extreme cold and summers that are comfortable without intense heat. The ocean influence keeps temperatures moderate year-round. Healthcare is provided through South Shore Regional Hospital in Bridgewater 20 minutes away, offering emergency services and specialist care. Mahone Bay has medical clinics with family doctors serving the area. For major medical needs, Halifax is about an hour away with comprehensive facilities. According to census data, the population includes significant retiree presence attracted to beauty, small-town pace, and proximity to ocean. The demographic is educated and includes artists drawn by the town's reputation as arts community with galleries and studios throughout. Property taxes run around $2,200 to $3,200 annually on a $400,000 home, reasonable for Nova Scotia coastal property. Cost of living is moderate with grocery stores in town and Bridgewater providing larger shopping options nearby. Recreation includes kayaking in the bay, hiking trails, and beach access. The town is famous for its churches, with 3 beautiful historic churches dominating the waterfront, creating iconic views. Festivals throughout the year, including the Wooden Boat Festival, draw visitors and create summer activity. Number 3. Gimli, Manitoba, Lake Winnipeg. Waterfront affordability. Gimli sits on Lake Winnipeg's western shore about an hour north of Winnipeg with about 6,300 people, offering waterfront living, Icelandic cultural heritage, and housing prices that make waterfront properties accessible to normal income retirees rather than just the wealthy. According to Manitoba real estate data, homes in Gimli range from $250,000 to $450,000, depending on size, waterfront access, and condition. You can buy waterfront properties for $350,000 to $450,000, or houses back from the lake for $250,000 to $350,000. The town sits on Lake Winnipeg, one of the world's largest freshwater lakes, providing beach access, fishing, and water recreation. The climate is prairie Manitoba with cold winters hitting -30 regularly and warm summers with lake breezes moderating extreme heat. Gimli has healthcare through Gimli Community Health Centre providing basic medical services and emergency care. Selkirk Regional Health Centre 35 minutes south offers more comprehensive hospital services. Winnipeg is an hour away for major medical needs and specialists, making healthcare access better than remote rural areas. According to census data, Gimli has significant retiree population attracted to waterfront access at affordable prices and proximity to Winnipeg without living in the city. The demographic includes descendants of Icelandic settlers who maintain cultural traditions, creating unique character for prairie Manitoba. Property taxes run around $2,500 to $3,500 annually on a $350,000 home, among the lowest in Canada for waterfront property. Cost of living is reasonable with grocery stores in town and Winnipeg accessible for shopping variety. Recreation is water-focused with beaches, fishing, and boating in summer. Winter brings ice fishing, snowmobiling, and accepting that cold is reality November through March. The town maintains parks, waterfront areas, and facilities serving the community and summer tourism. The town celebrates Icelandic heritage through festivals including Íslendingadagurinn, Icelandic Festival, drawing visitors and creating cultural events. The downtown has shops, restaurants, and businesses serving both residents and summer tourists who flock to the beaches. One retiree who moved from Winnipeg described Gimli as getting waterfront living for what we'd pay for a basic house in Winnipeg suburbs. We wake up to lake views, have beaches 2 minutes away, and when we need city services or shopping, Winnipeg is an hour drive. Our housing costs dropped 40% while quality of life increased dramatically. Number 2, Invermere, British Columbia. Columbia Valley beauty without ski resort prices. Invermere sits in BC's Columbia Valley with about 4,200 people, surrounded by mountain ranges, offering four-season recreation and housing prices below Banff, Canmore, or Whistler Insanity. According to BC real estate data, homes in Invermere range from $400,000 to $650,000 depending on size, age, and location. You can buy solid homes for $450,000 to $550,000, or newer builds with views for $575,000 to $700,000. The town sits between the Rocky and Purcell mountain ranges with Lake Windermere providing water recreation. The climate is interior BC with cold, snowy winters perfect for skiing and warm, dry summers ideal for hiking and water activities. The area receives significant sunshine, making it appealing to people seeking mountain lifestyle without coastal BC's gray winters. Healthcare is provided through Invermere and District Hospital, offering emergency services and basic medical care. Family doctors serve the area, though availability varies. Cranbrook is an hour away for more comprehensive hospital services, and Calgary is 3 hours for major medical centers. According to census data, Invermere attracts retirees from Alberta and BC seeking mountain lifestyle, plus remote workers and semi-retired people operating businesses or working seasonally. The demographic is outdoorsy, educated, and financially comfortable enough to afford BC mountain property even at Invermere's relatively affordable prices. Property taxes run $2,800 to $3,800 annually on a $500,000 home, reasonable for BC mountain property. Cost of living is moderate to high, with some goods costing more due to location, but not at ski resort levels where everything carries premium markup. Recreation is exceptional, with Panorama Mountain Resort 20 minutes away offering skiing in winter, hiking and mountain biking in summer. Lake Windermere provides beach access, boating, and fishing. The Columbia Valley has extensive trail systems, golf courses, and outdoor activities year-round. The downtown has local businesses, restaurants, and services adequate for daily needs. It's small but functional, with character that maintains community feel despite tourism presence. Summer brings significant visitors, but the town doesn't feel overwhelmed like Banff or Whistler. The social aspect is outdoorsy and active, with community life revolving around recreation. It's welcoming to newcomers, especially retirees and families contributing to community. Volunteer opportunities exist in various organizations. The population is transient in the sense that many people maintain second homes, but there's stable year-round community as well. Number 1, Picton, Prince Edward County, Ontario, wine country. 2 hours from Toronto. Picton sits in Prince Edward County with about 4,700 people in town and 25,000 throughout the county, offering wine country lifestyle, Lake Ontario access, and proximity to Toronto and Kingston without living in cities. According to Ontario real estate data, homes in Picton range from $400,000 to $700,000, depending on size, location, and property type. You can buy solid homes for $450,000 to $550,000, or waterfront and premium properties for $600,000 to $800,000 plus. Prince Edward County has transformed over past 20 years from affordable rural area to trendy destination with wineries, restaurants, art scene, and tourism, creating economic base beyond traditional agriculture. The climate is southern Ontario, moderated by Lake Ontario, creating one of Canada's longest growing seasons, supporting viticulture and agriculture. Healthcare is provided through Prince Edward County Memorial Hospital in Picton, offering emergency services and medical care. Family doctors serve the area, though getting one requires persistence. Kingston is 45 minutes for specialist care and larger hospital facilities. Toronto is 2.5 hours for major medical centers. According to census data, Prince Edward County has seen significant demographic shift, with retirees, artists, and remote workers relocating from Toronto and other cities. The population is educated, culturally engaged, and includes both long-term residents and newcomers, creating interesting dynamics between preserving rural character and accommodating growth. Property taxes run around $3,500 to $4,500 annually on a $500,000 home, typical for southern Ontario. Cost of living is moderate, with grocery stores, farmers markets offering local produce, and the county's agricultural base providing affordable seasonal food. Recreation includes beaches throughout the county, with Sandbanks Provincial Park offering some of Ontario's best beaches. Cycling on quiet roads, wine touring, hiking trails, and water activities on Lake Ontario create lifestyle focused on outdoor access and local food and wine culture. The county has developed significantly, with restaurants, galleries, shops, and cultural venues throughout. Picton serves as county seat with services and amenities, while smaller communities like Wellington and Bloomfield offer additional dining and shopping. Summer brings significant tourism, creating economic activity, but also crowds that some residents find overwhelming. One Toronto couple who retired to Picton described it as keeping everything we loved about Toronto, culture, restaurants, arts, while losing everything we hated, traffic, density, housing costs that made retirement feel like managed poverty. We sold our Toronto house for $1.2 million, bought here for $550,000, and have $650,000 left invested providing income while we actually enjoy retirement instead of just surviving it. The social aspect is an interesting mix of long-term rural residents and urban transplants creating tensions around development, tourism, and changing character. The county is welcoming to newcomers who integrate and contribute, but some friction exists between people who've lived here for generations and recent arrivals treating it as Toronto cottage country. Community groups, volunteer opportunities, and cultural organizations provide engagement for people seeking connection beyond wine tours and beach days. Hit that subscribe button if you learned something that makes you reconsider assumptions about retirement in Canada. And comment about what matters most to you in retirement location, because these conversations help people make better informed decisions rather than just following trends that serve real estate agents better than actual humans trying to find affordable places to live.